My younger brother, Leo, declared himself Sun Wukong, destined to slay demons. Every day he'd brandish an iron rod, swinging it wildly. Fearing he'd hurt someone, I gently tried to dissuade him, only to be beaten by Mother. Our precious Leo will be a great hero someday. You useless sister, get out of the way. After I spoke a few more words, he swung his rod straight at my head. Die, you wicked demoness spouting nonsense. My skull cracked, and I collapsed into a pool of blood. In a daze, I saw Mother comforting Leo while disposing of my body. Good job, Leo, you killed that evil demoness. They both laughed uproariously. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Leo first played with the iron rod. I didn't stop him. Instead, I encouraged him. Excellent, Leo. That rod should be swung right at Mother's head. That's the real way. Hearing the game sounds and Leo's shouts from the computer, I realized I had been reborn. I saw Leo rush out, brandishing an iron rod wildly. I am Black Myth Wukong, slaying demons? The pain from my fractured skull still lingered, and I instinctively took a large step back in fear. Mother walked out from the kitchen, her eyes filled with pride as she watched her energetic son. She rushed over, hugging and showering Leo with kisses. My brave son, you'll definitely be a great hero someday. When she saw me, her expression soured. She tossed her head, ordering me to buy a bottle of soy sauce. Leo, seeing Mother give me 10 yuan, immediately whined, demanding to come along. As soon as we were outside, he snatched the money. At 13, he was already as tall as me. His chubby face glared at me fiercely. The change better be for my soda, he walked, twirling the iron rod in his hand. Arriving at the neighbor's house, he suddenly pointed the rod at their potted flowers and declared, "Tiny flower demon, take a strike from old monkey." I watched Leo head towards Mr. Zhang's house. This time, I didn't stop him. In my previous life, I had, and he hadn't had the chance to smash Mr. Zhang's flower pots. Who would have thought Leo would turn around and tell on me, leading to another beating from Mother? I cried, telling her Mr. Zhang was fierce and I feared Leo would anger him and get hurt. Mother, holding Leo close, kicked me hard. Nonsense, my precious son is strong. Does that old man dare? With Mother's constant spoiling and flattery, Leo became even more unruly. Not only did he threaten me with the rod at home, but he also bullied others outside. I advised him not to, warning he could hurt someone. He flew into a rage, hitting me with the rod. My skull fractured again, and I fell into a pool of blood. Mother, tending to my body, praised Leo. Good job, Leo. You've killed another demoness. I narrowed my eyes, looking at Leo not far away, then back at Mother calmly cracking melon seeds at home. A smirk played on my lips. Then let the two of you taste the consequences of not heeding advice. By the time I rushed over, Leo had already smashed Mr. Zhang's flower pot to smithereens. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mr. Zhang walking this way. Not only did I not scold Leo, but I praised him profusely. Excellent, Leo. You truly are the great sage equal to heaven, Sun Wukong. Under my flattery, he became even more smug, swinging his rod and smashing the remaining flower pots. Mr. Zhang saw him too, running over furiously. He grabbed Leo's hand, his face dark and flushed with anger. He roared, "What are you doing?" I hid behind Leo, pretending to ask, "Uncle, what do you want to do to our Leo?" Leo struggled, hitting Mr. Zhang with the rod. "You black pig demon, how dare you defy the old monkey? I'll kill you, you black pig demon." Mr. Zhang looked at his painstakingly cultivated flower pots, now shattered and completely erupted. He snatched the iron rod from Leo's hand, threw it aside, grabbed Leo by the collar, and slapped him repeatedly. "You little brat, I am the Buddha, you punk." I watched Mr. Zhang's large hand rise and fall on Leo's face, one after another, feeling an indescribable thrill. Seeing the moment was right, I shouted, "Let go of my brother, you're a bad man." I yelled, but didn't move a single step forward. Only when I saw Mother charging out did I pretend to rush to Leo's rescue. The moment Mother saw the handprints on her precious son's face, she immediately launched into a hysterical fit. "You beast, how dare you hit my Leo? Today I'll fight you to the death." But Mother was not large, and standing before Mr. Zhang, she was like a quail. In less than 2 moves, she was pushed to the ground. Mr. Zhang shoved Leo down to block Mother's attack. He pointed at the ruined flower pots. "Your son smashed my flowers first, and then he hit me with an iron rod." Mother ignored him, screaming herself hoarse. "Everyone come see, this big, shameless man is bullying a poor widow like me." Some people gathered to watch. Mother thrashed on the ground, wailing, "Look, my son was beat. He's just a child, what does he know?" Mr. Zhang's face darkened as he recounted the entire incident again. A few women criticized Mother and Leo. No matter what, you can't let your child wield an iron rod and hit people. Before their words finished, Mother spat at them. How I raise my son is none of your business. You're just jealous I have a son. You only have worthless daughters who'll just sell themselves someday. Coincidentally, one of those women was known for cherishing her daughters above all else. Hearing Mother's filthy words, she furiously lunged forward and slapped Mother. Mother, refusing to lose, tried to retaliate but tripped over her own feet, tumbling down the steps and ending up in the hospital. It was summer vacation, and I was simultaneously taking care of Leo at home, bringing meals to Mother in the hospital, and attending to my own chores. As soon as I entered Mother's hospital room, she, ignoring her legs suspended in a cast, threw a pillow at me. "You worthless slut, why are you so late today?" I wiped the sweat from my face. Leo said he didn't have enough to eat today, so I cooked him another dish. Hearing it was for Leo, she retracted the hand she was about to strike me with. "Useless, I give you 20 yuan every day and you still let your brother starve. What good are you?" I said nothing, placing the meal in front of her, deliberately pushing the soup bowl slightly off-center. Sure enough, after she'd eaten for a while, she remembered Leo's beating. She pointed her chopsticks at me. "Was it your fault your brother got beaten?" I feigned innocence. "He's my dearest brother, how could I let someone hurt him? When he was being beaten, I even rushed in to help." I revealed the wound on my knee. Mother didn't even glance at it, just snorted coldly. "If I find out you've played any tricks, I'll skin you alive." I lowered my head and gave a cold smile. "In my previous life, you treated me worse than this." I told her that Leo spent all day at home playing games and swinging his rod wildly, advising Mother to discipline him. She immediately flew into a rage, scolding me severely. "Ungrateful wretch. Sons should be energetic. It makes them healthy when they grow up. What's wrong with playing games? Playing games also develops the brain. Our Leo will definitely get into Tsinghua University someday. What's with all your nagging?" Her scolding wasn't enough. She reached out to pinch my mouth, but she forgot there was still food in front of her. As she moved violently, the soup spilled all over her. I had intentionally made it extra oily and kept it very hot. She screamed in pain, calling for the nurse. "Nurse, get the nurse." I pretended to be frightened. I watched her clutching her stomach, screaming in agony. After a while, I finally went to find the nurse. Mother told me to bring Leo to visit her tomorrow. She couldn't stand a day without seeing her precious son. I cooked as usual. I knocked on Leo's door. Inside, his shouts echoed. Kill you, you big monster." After a moment, he opened the door, his eyes impatient. "Knock, knock, knock, so annoying." The red slap marks on his face had faded. I smiled. "Dinner's ready. After we eat, we'll go to the hospital to see Mother." He picked up his iron rod, imitating Sun Wukong. "I'm not going. It's so hot. It's better to stay home and play games." I advised him that he should visit Mother anyway. She missed him terribly. He raised his rod, threatening to hit me. "You talk too much, just like Mother." I looked at the rod, and the memory of my murder in the previous life washed over me. I screamed in fear, collapsing to the ground, trembling all over. Leo didn't strike. Seeing my state, he burst out laughing. "You coward, scared like that by me, you pighead." Perhaps my reaction amused him. His mood improved. He stuffed rice into his mouth and agreed to go to the hospital with me in the afternoon. I stood before the bathroom mirror, my eyes red. "Leo, I will not forgive you." Before we left, he insisted on bringing his iron rod. "I am the great sage equal to heaven, my golden cudgel slays demons." The moment Mother saw her precious son, all her pain was forgotten. She simply hugged him tightly. Leo tried to squirm away, accidentally pressing on her burned abdomen. "Ah!" Mother cried out in pain, but couldn't bring herself to scold her son. Leo, bored in the hospital room, began swinging his rod wildly, occasionally almost hitting others. Someone came to tell him to stop playing with the rod. Leo kicked them. This person then tried to reason with Mother. Mother, however, looked proud. "If you're so good, hit him. Let me tell you, if you dare to lay a hand on him today, I'll sue you." This person, a kind soul, silently walked away. This victory made Leo and Mother even more arrogant. A nurse came to check on Mother, telling Leo and me to wait outside. He had long since grown impatient and darted out. "You good-for-nothing, aren't you going to follow your brother? Don't let him get lost." Mother yelled. I followed Leo. He walked, swinging his rod. I walked beside him, my face full of admiration. "Brother, you were amazing just now. You scared that person speechless." Leo held his head high. "They're all trash. Old Monkey will give each of them a strike, making them reveal their true forms." I continued to praise him, leading him towards the smoking area. There were many children in the area we had just left, and I was afraid Leo might go berserk and hit one of them. The smoking area was full of strong men. I saw a muscular man leaning against the wall, smoking. I had been observing him for days. Though he looked fierce, he was a righteous person. I slowly approached him, then turned to provoke Leo. Leo, the great sage equal to heaven, you're just trash, a chunk of bare dung. If Mother wasn't protecting you, you'd just be a coward. He turned to look at me, frowning deeply, seemingly unable to believe I would say such words. I gave him a malicious smile and softly repeated it. He finally erupted in anger, raising his rod to hit me. I suppressed my fear of the rod. I repeated it several times. Coward, you only know how to hit me, you bastard. Leo's rod continuously struck me. I had successfully enraged him. He hit harder and harder. My body quickly became bruised. The pain was intense, but my heart was filled with satisfaction. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the man not far away. Sure enough, his foot moved. Leo, in his frenzy, was suddenly blocked by someone. He roared, "Who dares to stop old monkey?" Seeing it was a stranger, Leo showed no fear, struggling to break free from the man's grip. I saw my chance. I slapped Leo across the face. "You beast, I'm your sister and you hit me like that?" Leo, furious, kicked me hard in the stomach. I was sent flying back 2 meters, spitting out a mouthful of blood. He lunged forward to hit me again, but the man held him firmly. "Stop it." "What are you doing?" Under the man's bulging muscles, Leo couldn't move. The hand holding the iron rod was gripped tightly. Leo tried to kick him sneakily, but before his leg could extend, the man kicked his shin. Leo screamed terribly, his mouth still spewing curses. "You bunch of monsters, I'll use my golden cudgel to kill all of you." Others shielded me. I wiped the blood from my lips, smirking and muttering silently to Leo, "Trash, die." Security quickly arrived and took me to the emergency room. Leo's kick was brutal. Not only was I spitting blood, but there was also a large, dark bruise on my abdomen. The doctor said I had internal bleeding. I was admitted to the internal medicine ward. Mother was in orthopedics. Since my rebirth, I had been preparing for this day. I had saved enough money for university, so I no longer needed to rely on Mother. Moreover, classes were starting in just 1 month. My time for revenge against Mother and Leo was running out. Once I acted, I would face their wrath. The only solution was to have a justifiable reason to escape the family. This hospitalization would last at least half a month. My plan was not yet complete. I knew Leo's personality. He was a coward. He had been like that since childhood. If anyone was better than him, he would hold a grudge. This time, although he wasn't beaten, being physically overpowered filled him with immense resentment. Mother, knowing he had suffered, would surely compensate him tenfold. Without my intervention, as in the previous life, who knew what he would do? I was still lying in my hospital bed when I heard a commotion outside. Mother, leaning on crutches, brought Leo in. The moment Mother saw me, she loudly cursed, "You shameless wretch, bullying your brother like that? Today I'll beat you to death." My eyes immediately reddened. The internal injuries had made my face pale. "Mother, from childhood until now, you've always favored Leo. Regardless of whether it was his fault or not, you only blamed me. Can't I even vent a little?" I showed her the wounds on my body. "I'm also your daughter, Mother. Do you want Leo to beat me to death?" I was in a double room. Mrs. Lynn, the woman in the next bed, was a warm person. She looked back and forth between Leo and me. I was thin, Leo was plump. It was obvious who was being bullied. "Dear girl, I'm not criticizing you, but look at your daughter. She's so skinny, there's hardly any flesh on her bones, and your son has beaten her black and blue. Not a single healthy spot." Mother, far from being ashamed, was proud. "What do you know? Leo is the sole heir of our Wang family. This girl was born to serve her brother. What's wrong with a beating? When she marries, Leo will be her only support from her maternal family." Mother's words stunned Mrs. Lynn, who advised Mother, "What era are we in? There's no more favoring sons over daughters anymore." Unexpectedly, Leo heard this. He pointed the iron rod in his hand at Mrs. Lynn. "You busybody, what does it have to do with you? Go die." Mrs. Lynn, who had only meant well, was shocked to be pointed at and harshly cursed by a 13-year-old child. She was so angry she couldn't breathe. Mother, frightened, quickly pulled Leo away. Before leaving, she threw back a comment, "I won't pay for your medical expenses. Who told you to bully my precious baby? I won't pay for your university tuition either." I quickly pressed the call button. A nurse came to attend to Mrs. Lynn. "It's okay," the nurse said. I breathed a sigh of relief. I hadn't expected to involve her. I was filled with remorse. "Auntie, I'm so sorry, it's all my fault." She wasn't angry at all. Instead, she stroked my head, gently comforting me. I don't blame you, you're a sensible child and an unfortunate one. I couldn't hold back anymore. I hugged her and sobbed. Throughout my hospitalization, Mother didn't visit me once. Mrs. Lin would bring me a portion of food when she went to get her own. I was very grateful and wanted to give her money. She patted my head, gently saying, "I'm being discharged today. Take care of yourself from now on, good girl." My discharge day quickly arrived. When I returned home, the house was a mess. Mother sat in the kitchen, surrounded by broken bowls and chopsticks with vegetable soup smeared on her clothes. She heard the noise and happily looked up. "My precious, even if you're angry, you can't just run off." Seeing it was me, her face immediately darkened. "You slut, what are you doing back? You're so good, daring to scold your brother?" My heart was undisturbed. I looked around but didn't see Leo. "Where's Leo?" Mother glared at me, telling me to help her up. "I only said a few words and your brother ran off. You're back at just the right time. Go find him quickly," she instructed. "Don't let my precious son be bullied outside." Recently, Leo had been playing games all day, never leaving his room. His rebellious psychology grew more severe, and he would smash things with his rod at the slightest provocation. Ironically, Mother had been especially lenient with him because of his past bullying incident, leading him to now hit even her with the rod. When I went out, I saw that the iron rod was also gone. I walked straight out and didn't see Leo, but along the way, I saw quite a few damaged flowers, plants, and trash cans. I stopped. There was also a kitten beaten to death. The kitten had only been born recently, probably abandoned by its mother. It was covered in blood, its abdomen flattened by the rod. It had stopped breathing. I clenched my fists. Leo truly wasn't human. I walked straight ahead to the community park. Today was the weekend, and many children were brought by their parents to play. I saw Leo. He was holding his rod, staring intently at a little girl. The girl was innocent and lovely, wearing a pretty rabbiteer hat, looking just like the Jade Rabbit Fairy from Journey to the West. The surrounding adults were all praising the little girl. I heard Leo mutter, "I am the great sage equal to heaven, where can this little demoness run?" Leo's eyes were bloodshot. He was fully immersed in his delusion. He swallowed, gripping the iron rod tightly, then stood up and ran towards the little girl. I was startled. I hadn't expected Leo to be so audacious now, daring to hit someone with a rod in broad daylight. I rushed after him, preparing to stop him. Leo mumbled, raised his rod, and shouted, "Die, you demoness!" The little girl was stunned by the shout. The surrounding people hadn't reacted yet. I lunged forward and hugged Leo tightly. "What are you doing?" His strength was too great, I couldn't hold him. He pushed me hard and I fell to the ground. His eyes were bloodshot. I grabbed his leg and shouted loudly to the crowd. At this moment, everyone regained their senses, shielding the little girl behind them. Leo went berserk, swinging his rod wildly, scaring off anyone who tried to stop him. Suddenly, someone in the crowd screamed. Everyone then realized a young man had been hit on the arm. The young man clutched his arm in pain. People quickly called 911 and reported to the police. Leo tried to run, but was surrounded by people. His iron rod was also kicked away. After the police arrived, everyone clamored to recount the incident. At this point, Leo was disheartened, looking at me in a panic. "Sister, save me." The police's gaze shifted to me. Leo glared at me. My face was expressionless. He intentionally wielded a rod to hit people. That was the truth. Leo couldn't believe it. He lunged forward to hit me. "You slut, I'll tell Mother to beat you to death." He was immediately pinned to the ground by the police. We all went to the police station. Mother also arrived quickly. As soon as she entered, she cried hysterically. "My poor son, you've suffered so much." Seeing me, she immediately tried to hit me. "You worthless slut, you couldn't even protect your brother. Useless." She was stopped by the police. The young man's family stepped forward, presenting the hospital diagnosis report. They demanded Mother compensate for medical expenses and other costs. A fractured arm plus bone contusion. Estimated surgery fees, medical expenses, etc. total 100,000 yuan. Mother pushed the person away, proudly saying, "Your son deliberately ran his hand into my son's rod. A broken arm serves him right. What does it have to do with my son? And you want to extort 100,000 yuan from me? No way." As soon as she said this, even the police frowned. The family wouldn't back down. "Your son was openly wielding a rod, trying to hit a child. My son was injured by his random swinging. How is that not related to your son? What kind of parent are you?" Mother held her head high. "Then why didn't anyone else get hurt? Only your son was injured. If he's unlucky, don't blame others." The family was stunned. never having encountered such an uncultured person who twisted facts. They turned to the police, stating they had surveillance video and witnesses and would sue if necessary. Hearing sue, Mother sneered, "Do you think the court is run by you? Let me tell you, my son is not at fault." At this moment, the little girl's parents also arrived, confirming that Leo had initiated the attack. "If I hadn't been on the phone at that moment, I would have broken your son's arm that was wielding the rod." Mother remained stubborn. The family immediately wanted to sue my brother. It wasn't until the court summons arrived at our house. After the trial, with ample evidence, Mother lost the case. Only then did she panic, wanting to reconcile with the other family. "My son is precious. He can't go to jail. He can't be detained." But the other party completely disregarded her, firmly insisting on sending Leo to a juvenile detention center. So Mother still had to pay the medical expenses. Leo was also detained for 3 months. Mother cried like rain every day, lying motionless in bed. Every time she saw me, she looked at me with hateful eyes. She resented me, believing that if it weren't for me, her brother would never have been detained. I didn't care at all. Every day, I waited for classes to begin. On the first day of classes, I carried my bags, leaving home without a single backward glance. Behind me, I could still hear Mother smashing dishes. I gave a cold laugh. "Smash, smash all you want." The family was already not well off. Compensating 100,000 yuan had plunged them into poverty. 3 months later, winter vacation arrived. The day I returned was also the day Leo was released. The house was empty. My stomach growling, cooked myself a bowl of noodles. Outside, I heard the door open. Mother, wiping away tears, embraced Leo as they returned. Seeing me eating noodles, Mother's expression changed. "You good for nothing, are you blind? Can't you see your brother is home? Hurry up and cook. Do you want Leo to starve?" Leo's eyes were vacant, and he had lost a lot of weight, completely lacking his former arrogance. Mother constantly called him my precious baby. I shrugged. Leo and Mother's current state was far from what I expected. After dinner, Mother said she wanted to take Leo to buy new clothes. I thought for a moment, then proactively said, "Leo has suffered, so I'll pay for his clothes today." I had saved a little money from my part-time jobs. I took them to the shopping mall. Usually, Mother was very frugal and never went to places like this. She walked in a little timidly, but when it came to choosing clothes, she became extravagant. The staff introduced several items, but she refused, insisting on choosing the most expensive ones, not caring if they suited Leo or not. I knew she was deliberately spending my money. She felt like she was making amends for Leo. I maintained a calm expression, showing no displeasure. As we were about to leave, a beautiful, slender young woman entered the store. She bumped into Leo. Mother immediately yelled, "Do you have eyes? Didn't you see you bumped into my son?" The young woman took off her glasses, scanning Leo and Mother from head to toe with disdain. "What's wrong with this store? They even let impoverished trash like this in?" Mother was furious, about to argue with her. The young woman dodged aside, haughtily brushing off her clothes. "Your son looks dull and vacant. He didn't say a word. I thought he was an idiot." Mother exploded. She could be insulted, but Leo was her life. No one could say anything bad about him. Mother grabbed the young woman's hair. A farmer's strength was considerable. The young woman screamed terribly but refused to back down, fighting back. I saw Leo's eyes turn bloodshot. He ignored Mother, staring intently at the young woman, muttering, "White bone demoness, she's the white bone demoness." He mechanically looked around, then suddenly saw a broom in the hand of a nearby cleaner. He lunged, snatched it, and swung it at the young woman, hitting her directly on the head. The young woman screamed terribly and collapsed. Mother was utterly terrified, standing frozen. The store staff panicked, looking at the young woman lying on the ground, blood slowly seeping from her head. Someone called the police and 911. When the police arrived, Mother had already taken the broom from Leo's hand and held it herself. "I did it. It has nothing to do with my son." But no one listened to her, as many eyes had witnessed the entire incident. Leo was taken away again. This time, Mother was completely hysterical because she had seen with her own eyes how much blood the woman had lost from her head. Mother grabbed me, asking, "Is your brother okay?" I brushed her hand away. "Is he okay or not? That depends on whether that woman's life is in danger." Mother hastily brought fruit to the hospital. The young woman had passed the critical stage and was weakly lying in her hospital bed. Hearing Mother wanted to reconcile, she angrily laughed. She pointed at the bag of discount apples in Mother's hand. "You want me to reconcile? Based on what?" "Based on your 10 yuan bag of apples." Mother brazenly said, "Girl, aren't you still alive and well? My son didn't really do anything to you. Just be a little more generous." The young woman sneered, "How about I hit you on the head with something and then tell you to be a little more generous, okay?" Mother's smile vanished. "That won't do." The young woman didn't want to see Mother anymore. She waved her away. "I've already hired a lawyer. Whatever the court decides, so be it. Your son intentionally caused injury. 10 or 8 years in prison is no problem." Hearing this, Mother wailed uncontrollably, refusing to leave. At this moment, a man entered. Understanding the situation, he smiled at Mother. "Auntie, you don't want your son to go to jail, we all understand. How about this? Compensate us 1 million yuan and we'll reconcile. How does that sound?" Mother was stunned, then stood up. "Are you extorting me? Just a small injury, why do you need 1 million yuan?" The man shrugged. "That won't do. Your son hit my wife on the head. Everyone knows about heads. If she becomes an idiot, it's very possible." Mother knelt on the ground, begging them to be lenient. She tried to pull me down with her. I sidestepped, avoiding Mother's hand. She glared at me, too preoccupied to pay attention to me, and continued to plead with them. The young woman was also moved. "That's right, you just need to compensate us 1 million yuan and I guarantee I'll withdraw the lawsuit." Mother stood up, fiercely saying, "No way, don't you dare dream of it." Then she thought if she didn't agree, Leo would surely go to jail. She stumbled out in a daze. I followed behind. Mother stopped and asked me, "What should we do now? They're asking for 1 million yuan. If we want to save your brother, we can only sell the house." Mother shook her head, stumbling. "No, this house is for Leo later. If I sell it, what will Leo do? Where will the two of us live then?" Mother looked at the ceaseless flow of traffic, then suddenly lunged into it. Luckily, a car braked in time, stopping about 5 cm from Mother. The driver, sweating profusely, jumped out and cursed, "If you want to die, choose another place. Don't harm others." Mother collapsed, crying loudly. "Why didn't you hit me? If you hit me, you'd compensate me, and I'd have money to save my son. You beast, why didn't you hit me?" The driver had never seen such a crazy person. "You lunatic." He quickly got back in his car and drove away. Other cars, seeing the scene, drove very slowly and cautiously. Mother, seeing no opportunity here, decided to try elsewhere. I coldly watched her theatrics, intending to pull her back. She pushed my hand away and slapped me. "If you hadn't suggested going to that shopping mall, how would Leo and I have ended up like this? You slut, it's all your fault." She dragged me to the roadside, intending to push me out. "You're the one who should die. Jump down quickly. I'll use the compensation money to save Leo." I couldn't take it anymore. I slapped her across the face. "Are you done being crazy? It's clearly your and Leo's own doing. You don't blame Leo for going berserk, but you blame me. Am I even your biological daughter?" I recalled my tragic past, my eyes red as I roared. Mother froze, then suddenly laughed strangely. "Slut, you're certainly not my biological daughter. You're just the bastard your father had after a wild night out. Go home. A bastard dying is just dying. How can that compare to my Leo?" I stood stunned in place. After a long while, I let out a laugh, suddenly feeling light. So I wasn't her biological child after all. I didn't look back, walking straight ahead. Suddenly, I heard the screech of brakes behind me. I turned around. Mother had fallen into a pool of blood, unconscious. Mother had a broken leg. The first thing she asked when she woke up was if the driver would compensate her. The police told her that she had suddenly crossed the road. The driver was not at fault. She bore full responsibility. The driver, out of humanitarian reasons, compensated her 30,000 yuan. Mother was stunned, unable to believe it. "No way, he hit me. He has to compensate me 1 million yuan. Make him compensate me 1 million, otherwise I'll sue him." The police patiently explained the law to her. It's not that whoever is weaker is always right. This is a society governed by law. Everything is based on law. Mother was devastated. She went in a wheelchair to visit Leo. Leo was mentally broken, still muttering, "I am the great sage equal to heaven, I slay demons. That woman is the white-bone demoness. I am good, she is bad." Mother was heartbroken. She went home and immediately decided to sell the house. She wouldn't let her precious baby go to jail. The house was sold, and the 1 million yuan was quickly gathered. The young woman and her family received the money and, sure enough, quickly withdrew the lawsuit. Mother took Leo to live in a secluded rented house in another district. 2 bedrooms, 1 living room, no room for me. I had long since stopped caring about this. I packed my belongings and returned to school. On the day I left, I only took my ID card. I had already transferred my household registration to the school. A year later, our supervising professor had a sampling project. Coincidentally, the location was my old hometown. While sampling, we encountered a group of teenagers by a small stream. They formed a circle, loudly mocking the person inside. "Wang family's idiot wet his pants. Ha ha ha, aren't you ashamed?" Suddenly, a woman rushed out from the alley. She was in a wheelchair, holding a rolling pin which she threw at the children. "Get out! How dare you bully my Leo? I'll beat you to death." The children laughed loudly. "Lame mother, idiot son, you're truly a family," one boy said. "We weren't bullying him, he carries a rod everywhere and has injured many classmates." The woman screamed, "Serves you right, my Leo hitting you definitely means there's something wrong with you." The children didn't want to talk to such an unreasonable person. "Disperse!" The woman pushed her wheelchair over, intending to pull her son up from the ground. Leo pushed the woman hard. The woman in her wheelchair flipped over. The woman screamed, "Son, help mother up." Leo didn't look back and walked away. The woman lay there on the ground. The professor couldn't bear it and went to help her up. I sidestepped, watching the professor help her up. The woman showed no gratitude. Instead, she cursed him profusely. "What's with your nosiness? Hypocritical, pretending to be noble, looking like an intellectual, just like that ungrateful wretch I raised." Once her wings grew, she flew away, not even coming back to visit me and her brother. The professor was a kind, gentle man. He hadn't expected to be so thoroughly scolded for doing a good deed, making him seethe with anger. "I think her daughter was definitely forced to leave," he said. "Who in their right mind would abandon their mother and brother like that? She must have had some hardship." I smiled, comforting him. "Don't be angry, Professor. It's a big world, anything can happen." 3 days passed quickly. The professor and I prepared to leave. We heard the shrill sound of police sirens outside. Many people rushed out to watch the commotion. We hadn't intended to go, but hearing a passerby mention Leo, I stopped. "Professor, please hold my luggage. I left something in the room. I'll be right back." Without waiting for the professor to nod, I followed the crowd. I went to the most crowded area where police had cordoned it off. Inside was a crime scene. My heart pounded. At this moment, the police parted the crowd, carrying out a stretcher. The person lying on it was covered with a white sheet, their head obscured, but there was a lot of blood. "That Wang family son, you know him. He usually doesn't talk much, often violent. This time it's terrible, he beat his own mother to death." Behind him was Leo handcuffed. He showed no expression, but his hands were covered in blood, his eyes vacant and numb. Seeing so many people, he even laughed loudly. Everyone around discussed, "He must be insane to beat his own mother to death." Finally, a police officer emerged, holding a blood-stained iron rod. I looked at the rod, lost in thought. Oh, how terrifying. The neighbors said they heard constant shouting in the middle of the night, but his son often beat her. They were used to it, and she didn't pay attention. Who knew she'd be beaten to death? That's right, but then again. His mother was originally an unreasonable person, spoiling her son. It would be strange if something didn't happen. I heard they originally had a daughter, too. I wonder where she is now. No need to ask, she was surely bullied by them and ran away. I didn't intervene. Instead, I spoke to it. I walked towards the professor. The professor was completely unaware and not one for gossip, so he didn't ask what had happened, only if I had retrieved my item. I nodded. So we boarded the car on time and returned. On the way, I rarely slept. When I woke up, the professor asked me what I had dreamt of. "I saw you smiling," he said. I stretched. The sky was clear. I had indeed had a beautiful dream.